We talk all things mom, boss, and growing our businesses. Welcome to BizMomCoaching, the #1 channel where the real heroines, moms in business, support you through their journeys to help build your business. Here you will see that you are not alone in your business journey. Moms often have the exact same struggles, and we are here to support you. Subscribe and join our mom business community. We would love to network with you. Remember to watch until the end, when I will share how you can access the most effective ways to structure your online business to grow faster and have more time. Exactly what all us mom bosses yearn for. Let's get started. Welcome to BizMomCoaching. Today I'm speaking to Emma Ferrick of Alpha Operations, and she helps support creative entrepreneurs to grow their businesses by managing their day-to-day administrative tasks, automating, standardizing, and management of business processes. So welcome, Emma. Please tell us more about your business, what you do to help your clients, and how did the entrepreneurial journey start for you?
Hi, thank you. I'm so excited to be here. My business journey started when I was a single mom and trying to figure out how to provide that income for my daughter. And I knew that I wanted to eventually leave my corporate job, and I didn't want to sacrifice more time with her. So I started doing a bunch of researching and listening to a bunch of personal finance podcasts. And that kind of led me on the path of virtual assistant businesses and freelancing. And so it was in September of last year, I decided to invest my money in a virtual assistant course and how to start my own business and like all the legal stuff that goes into it, the bookkeeping side of everything, just all of that. And I was like, I love the fact that I can offer these services to people that I enjoy doing because I didn't love my corporate job at the time. So I did that for a couple months as a side hustle. So at night and on the weekend, I would serve clients, and I started out with general administration, but I really love system setups and helping people automate their businesses and making it more efficient for them to run their business so they don't have to work in the day-to-day operations of it. And my background is in supply chain management, operations, and so the whole process improvement, that's what I went to school for, but in a manufacturing sense. So I took a bunch of different courses and watched a bunch of YouTube videos on how I could apply that to a digital sense, because it was a whole different kind of world for an online business than an in-person business. And I actually left my corporate job in the middle of COVID to start my business full time, and have been doing it now for a couple of months, and I absolutely love it. And I love being able to help entrepreneurs and business owners grow and scale their business by creating repeatable processes.
Wow, I have so much respect for moms like you who actually start their businesses on the side while they are having another job, and that they make that work. And then it's very interesting to me to hear how you actually did it and how you actually educated yourself by watching YouTube videos. And, at the end of the day, you actually can start your business while you still have a job and make a success of that. At this moment, you only have your business, am I right?
Yeah, I only had my business. I quit and I literally had like one client when I quit, but I knew that I could do it if I had more time. And the biggest restriction for me at the time was time. So I needed to make that jump. I had saved enough money. My goal had been September of this year, but I accelerated that because of COVID. And I knew that my services would be valuable and needed if I just put myself out there and tried to attract those clients and put my marketing and make connections. And that's what I've been doing for the past couple months. And now I have monthly clients, and I take on one-off projects or just solely one-off system setups that they need. And I document them and create the training documents for their team for them.
Wow, I love it. And it just goes to show can be done. Now, you encourage your clients to get back to being the owner of their businesses. Does this tie back to business owners focusing on the money-making tasks in their businesses and having everything else automated or outsourced?
Yeah, so like having those like repeatable processes in place. So a lot of people, they're they want to outsource, but they don't have a process or a system documented, and it's all in their head. And now that can be pretty easy,
Yes.
but organizing it in a way that makes sense to someone else, creating, using Loom to create trainings or another recording software that will help them document it, walk people through it through sharing their screen. But it also gives them the ability to focus on the strategy and the vision of their business and the next step forward, and making those like strategic partnerships and growth alignments that they want to make in their business as they're growing to 6 and 7 figures.
Yes, I agree. It is so significant to offer services that allow business owners to do this, because that is where the real impact within a business lies, when the business owner focuses, on growing their businesses and the other tasks are taken care of. Now, you help business owners to organize their businesses. What effect does an organized business have on overall business performance in terms of elimination of clutter, that leads to clarification and better control?
Yeah, I'd say most business owners, they waste 2 to 3 hours a day if they're not organized, looking for things, looking for emails. So having your emails organized, having your documents organized, and if you have a remote team, that's a whole different type of communication systems that you need to have in place, and an organized project management tool to help them stay connected, stay on task, and communicate easier. Because when things are organized, and makes things obviously easier, but you're being more efficient with your day. You're not wasting that time. And if you're paying a contractor or someone hourly, then you want to make that as quick and easy as possible for them, if you have an easy process to pick up.
Exactly, yeah, and the clarification that a business owner can get out of someone else taking care of, putting systems in place, and also to know what is going on, know what they are going to do every single day, that gives them better control as well. So that is so beneficial for every business owner to make sure that they have, either they have that in place or have someone like you to help them put that in place.
Right. Yeah. So a lot of these business owners, they just don't have the bandwidth or organization skills to put it in place in the best way, or they want to switch systems and they just don't have the time to research the other systems, or if they've never used them. So I've taken a lot of time and energy to take the trainings and know that, so that I can give them my best opinion, because that's part of it. The thing is, they're always changing, so you want to be up to date on those.
Yes, and business owners don't have the time to keep up to date with all these things. So, it's awesome if there is an expert that keeps up to date with this on their behalf. And just what you also mentioned now with regards to the time that it takes, if you're not organized, that is mind-boggling to imagine the amount of hours that you waste if you don't know what's going on in your business. So that is something that is very significant to keep in mind. Now I want to talk a little bit more about you as a mom business owner. So how do you make life, with your daughter and your business work, and how do you manage it all?
Yeah, that's always a good question that I get from people, because for a long time, for almost a year, I was a single mom, and I did my business and my full-time business by myself for like 6 months, but I was a single mom for up to a year. And then I met my now fiance, who like encouraged me to quit, but the time management has been a huge struggle, because when I left full-time, I brought my daughter home full-time because of COVID. There was no daycare. That was what we had to do. And so leaning on other people in my family for support for a little bit was not an option, because we couldn't risk her going there at the time. But now that since things have eased up a bit, I do lean on family and friends where she goes to them for 2 days a week, just to get out of the house and, see family. And it also helps me because I can put a lot of my client time in those days, but also I utilize my project management tool, which is ClickUp. And I love ClickUp and I always recommend it to my clients because it's great, it's cost efficient, and you can organize your business so much easier and grow to have a team in there. It's just very accommodating and they're always creating updates. You can time track in there so you don't need a separate time tracking app. They have a Chrome extension that is absolutely amazing. I can take a screenshot, track my time, or add a task from whatever web browser I'm in or from my email. So that's my favorite little hack with ClickUp is if I get an email and I know I need to do it later, I can just add it to my client's space. Each client has a folder, or if I need to add it to my business folder that has my backend stuff, I can add it right there to follow up or put an automation in place to send a templated email if I have one, which I'm working on, like creating more. Because as you grow, you start to realize that if you're sending the same thing over and over again, even templates will save you time. It's not a fancy way to automate things, but they do help.
Oh, yes, of course. I love templates. It just saves you so much time, to allow you to not redo things all the time. Also for your clients, if you, have some templates that they can use, you can also save them a lot of time by not having to draw up templates themselves. That is really very good tip, for people who don't have fancy systems in place, to at least start with templates, because that can be such a help.
Yep. And you can just do it from your email too, with Google Drive. I know a lot of online business owners have that. You can create templates in there, or if you have a CRM, which most people do, you can create templated emails in your CRM as well.
Yes.
Or just put them in a Word document. That works too. It's cost efficient.
Exactly. There are so many cost-effective tools out there today. I think it just comes down to having to figure out, what is available and to implement it into the business. So yes, again, it comes back to having someone, to be able to tell you what is available, and, to make use of that can save a lot of frustration and struggle for business owners. So about struggle and frustration, what would you say is your biggest struggle and frustration within your own business, and how do you handle business frustrations, like lack of control, lack of time, or overwhelm? Because I think as business owners, we all do tend to experience that from time to time.
Oh yeah, there was days when I first started when I was still working full time, I was just crying because I was working till like 12 o'clock at night after I put my daughter to bed, and then waking up at 6 a.m. to go to work again. And even after I quit, there was just so many times of, you think, especially women business owners, they have such doubt or subconscious blocks that they have to deal with. And that has been something I'm still working through. A lot of people are. But one thing I've learned from my coach and my mentor is that being in a state of overwhelm, which is something I definitely feel, isn't the best way to serve you. So just taking that time to take a deep breath, or taking that time away from your business and not feeling guilty, because that's something I struggle with, is always, and I know a lot of other moms do. I feel guilty for not being with my daughter, and then I feel guilty if I'm not working on my for my clients, and if I'm doing something and that is for me. So getting over that anxiety of not feeling the need to be working 24/7, and looking at if I'm in a state of anxiety or overwhelm, that's not going to serve me and my clients the best. So I will literally do a brain dump. I write it down. I put it in my project management tool, because then once I see it and classify it, that helped me so much more. And the system and the process has just grown and weeded its way out, because I used to just dump everything on one list. Now I put everything in different list with due dates, just assigning everything a date, knowing certain things are flexible, but if I have a date and if anyone sees a date, they're going to be more motivated to knock that task out. So definitely time management, and just time and the mental belief of why would anyone want to work with you? Why do people want to work with you? That's something I struggle with at the beginning of my business.
Oh yes, yeah, no, I hear you. The mindset is such a big thing, and because you only started your business quite recently, I think it is amazing that you already were able to overcome a lot of that, because I think that keeps people down for so long, and people struggle with that for a very long time at times, and it keeps them back in their business. So that is awesome if you can do that. That is like the foundational thing in a business. If an entrepreneur can nip that in the bud in the beginning and get that under control, that is such a help. And yes, just like you say, having all the structure in your business to be able to keep track of your time and to control it better and to eliminate that overwhelm. It all comes back to having that structure. So I love that you're able to do that. And what would your advice be to business owners who are trying to do everything themselves? And then also, do you invest in help in your own business, like coaching, investment in programs, anything like that?
Yeah, I was, while you were saying that, it made me think, like, I was the one type of person who was like, I don't think I'm ever going to invest in coaching. I had a business degree. I thought I can at least figure it out on my own, which there's so much you can figure out on your own and put the time in, but just investing in a coach just amplifies it. And I was like, I don't want to wait a year to see a return on my business or be cash positive. So I invested in a coach the month I quit my job. I took my one client that I had, officially like signed on, and turned her into my coach because she was a coach. And then I signed on another client to replace her and a couple one-off projects to get me started. But I did it right off the bat, and I'm so happy that I did that. And I've invested in other courses for marketing. I've invested, because that was something I struggled with, was being able to market myself, because you have to be able to put yourself out there. And that was just really uncomfortable for me. So investing in a marketing program, and I've invested in a couple other smaller trainings for specific techs and systems that I use in my everyday. And so I think everyone should invest in their business if they're going to start, and delegating is a great way to do that. I haven't done it yet in my business because I've automated a lot of things, so I don't have a lot to outsource yet, but I'm definitely looking to outsource copywriting and social media, because those are things that I know are so important, but I don't love, and there are other people that love it, that can do it. And so once I can put some processes in place to hand that over, then I'll feel more comfortable to do that. But I know as I'm growing, I can't do it all at once.
Exactly. And I think a lot of times one of the mistakes that entrepreneurs do is they outsource their tasks too fast. At the end of the day, you as the business owner still need to know how your business works and functions. And if you really want a structured business, you will automate your systems first, and then that stuff that you cannot automate and you cannot handle yourself, then those things, you can outsource them, but you can't just do it from the get-go. So I totally agree. And I think that the strategy that you have followed is amazing, to, get a coach from the beginning, because I think a lot of people, and I've done that myself as well, I thought, no, I'm going to figure this out myself, but it took so much time. And at the end of the day, I had to, say, no, sorry, I can't do this by myself. In the long run, I really need to invest in a coach to be able to, like you say, amplify and to fast track the process so that your business can make money. Because for you especially, you had to get an income for you and your daughter, and you can't just sit around and do training all day long and try to educate yourself, and it takes so much longer. So it is so important to invest as quickly as you can and be able to do what you have done. So I love how you have done it, and I hope that can be inspirational to any business owner that looks at their business and they don't know if they should invest. They think, like many of us do, we think, no, I can do it myself. There many trainings on YouTube, and yes, you can, but it takes so much time, and at the end of the day, it is just so much easier if there is someone who can encourage you and teach you all the finer strategies.
Yeah, like especially with social media, I know that's a big one people outsource right away, because it's like so impossible to stay up to date on like the strategies and the little details that each social media outlet requires for like the picture sizing and what graphic goes best and the algorithm that they're going to promote. So there's little things that everyone knows, and it makes no sense for you as a business owner who's a visionary to hold on to everything when there are people who are just so much more in depth with it that they know like the little tricks of the trade.
Yes, exactly. And Emma, tell me, do you also help people in their social media to automate and to put systems in place for that? Apart from the business management systems, do you also focus on social media?
Yeah, I can do a couple, like there's some things that you can automate. I use a third-party tool called Zapier to help people.
Yes.
So that will integrate a lot of your, if you outline, I know like you can outline some project management tools and use them to create content. And then once you change a setting, it'll integrate with your scheduler, your social media scheduler. So you don't have to go then and input it in your scheduler. So there's like a couple different automation ways to do that depending on your social media scheduler and the project management tool that you're using.
What keeps you inspired in your business?
My biggest why is my daughter and my future kids. I wanted to be able to stay home with them, and I want to be able to provide for them and show them that you can do something no matter how old you are, no matter who you are, that you can be able to provide for yourself and go after your dreams. So that's like my biggest why.
I love it. And being a mom, what would you say is your take on effective ways to grow a business? As moms often have many additional challenges. I know we talked a little bit about, business and the mom life integration, but what would you say moms specifically, in your experience, need to focus on to grow their businesses faster and more effectively?
One thing I've definitely seen, and I've luckily never had this problem with any of my clients, is don't let your client, if the client's not going to be okay with you being a parent, then they're not your ideal client, because all of my clients respect and love when my daughter pops on a Zoom call. I've never felt once embarrassed where she's on a call and she comes in. Now, when she's interrupting too many times, that's a different story, but everyone's going to be respectful of that. So I don't that doesn't happen as much in corporate. If you were to, at least not for me, it didn't happen as much for me. And having people who are encouraging, who are also mothers I've worked with. So don't be afraid to be a mom and a business owner, because people will respect. And most of my clients, honestly, being a mom is a huge part of my marketing and how I put that out there. And everyone has said that I've talked to for discovery calls, said that they just loved how I incorporated that, and I'm very transparent, and that is what has attracted a lot of these clients to me. So if you're putting that out there in the world and being unapologetic on who you are, then you're going to attract the right people, which is something that my coach has taught me. And I'm so thankful for that.
Wow, I agree with you fully, and I love that because, my business is also focusing on mom entrepreneurs, and I love to work with moms, especially because of that. They understand, and it's so important what you say. At the end of the day, we shouldn't have to stress about our kids being around us, and if they're in the Zoom call or a client call, our clients should be able to understand and to embrace that, and it keeps things natural and real, and it also makes people, to resonate with us as the business or the service provider. And I think that it is an extremely valuable point that you have brought up, because I know I have stressed about that in the beginning. I would always tell my kids to be quiet and please, just stay away when I'm on calls. And now it's like, well, now they're sleeping at this hour, but so I can don't worry about that, which is good. But if I talk to someone during the day and they're around, I don't stress about that so much, because I've also changed my mindset about that. I just realized it makes it so much more personal, and I can resonate with people. I've watched people on, trainings from moms who have had their kids screaming in the background. I'm like, That is so awesome. At least it's not my kid, you know? So
Yep.
love that. I really love that point, and that is something that all us moms should incorporate into our businesses, and it makes it just so much more real. And yeah, I love what you said there. So Emma, thank you so much for your time. I had such a blast to talk to you and learn more about what you do. So how can people get hold of you?
Yeah, anyone can get a hold of me on LinkedIn, Facebook. I have my personal Facebook. You can search me by Emma Ferrick. I have my Facebook business, Elf Operations, or my website is elfoperations.com. And if you send me a little contact form, then I will get a hold of you.
Mom entrepreneurs need to work smart and structure their business effectively more than anyone due to business and life with kids often overlapping. A business that is well structured enables moms to focus and progress better. All the complex parts within the business are properly clarified and systemized. When all parts work according to a plan that brings results, it eliminates the overwhelm and it makes projects and processes within the business easily manageable. It means growing your online business faster, more effectively, and leaving you with more time for the things that matter to you. Isn't that what moms need most? Don't forget to subscribe and like this video. Thank you for watching. Until next time.